Good morning. Good morning, y'all. This is funny to me. This is something I've been thinking about. Uh, so, good morning. Good morning. This is funny to me because this is something I've been thinking about. So, hey, Rhonda girl. A couple of years, well, no, not a couple of years. It's been a few years now. It's been a few years that I've been teaching. Well, these past 2 years I haven't. Oh, let me start my timer. Let me get my timer started. Okay. Oh, shoot, this phone's gonna die. I hope it lasts. Okay. So, working as faculty, it's been a few years that I've taught a course called research methodology, right? So research methodology for those that are training to be therapists is not a favorite course. It's not a favorite course at all. So when I was working on my PhD, even though my PhD, the department I was in was counselor ed, counseling psych. So most of my courses are mostly, courses that are training an individual to be able to expand on their practice as a therapist, or training us to be supervisors of those training to be therapists, or training us to do research on concepts that are relative to psychology, counseling, social work, all of those things, right? Basically the behavioral sciences, right? And so in that process, I got a cognate, and a cognate is like a specialization. So my specialization was research, evaluation, and measurement, which is not something that those that are in the helping profession or even working to get degrees in counseling or counseling psych love, right? So of course, when it was time for me to get hired as full-time faculty, a lot of universities were interested because nobody wants to teach research methods. No one wants to teach research methodology. And so that's always been one of my favorite courses. While it's my favorite course, it's not a favorite course of my students. So what I started doing as I started teaching the class is, even though the title research is on the syllabus, I told students we're going to rename the course and call it cupcakes. So calling it cupcakes gave a little less feel of anxiety or anxiousness or worry to students, because research, that word, just gets people a little anxious or uncomfortable, right? So I was thinking about that class, and I was thinking about how in that class, just basic concepts, there was so much resistance to teaching just the basic concepts. So basic concepts like the difference between quantitative and qualitative work, right? Just looking at the characteristics, the outcomes, everything of quantitative research as opposed to qualitative research. Nobody used to be down for it. So I just tried to get creative as possible. So in my attempt to integrate the counseling profession and what they are going to do as future counselors, and also get them aware that they're always doing research. Like, we're always doing research. Just observation of a situation is research. We're collecting data when we just observe an individual or observe situations. So one of the tasks that I had them do was they were to take, over a couple of weeks, they were to take quantitative and qualitative data on their conversations. So their conversations with family members, their conversations with friends, their conversations with colleagues. So they were to collect quantitative and qualitative data on this, right, y'all? And let me tell you why I had them do that. Because for the most part, I wanted them to see that for the most part, and y'all think about it for your own lives, for the most part, most people are spending a majority of their time complaining. Right? So I want y'all to think about that. Most people in our lives are spending a majority of their time complaining. And I had my students do that. And I said, I want you all to disprove this. I want you to prove me wrong, that the conversations that you're participating in, whether it be a loved one, a family member, whoever, most of the time, most of the people that you're talking to are complaining. That's some good stuff, right, y'all? So yes, my students would go and collect this data, both quantitative and qualitative. And if I have more time, I will get into just like how it came about and what came out of that data. But they were so shocked, like blown away at the fact that most of the time, most people are complaining. And I want you all to think about that, about how that looks for you right now. Think about your conversations, even if we think about our conversations from yesterday. How did you spend time with your words and what you were sharing with others, or listening and receiving from others? Was it positivity? Was it life-giving? Or was it a lot of complaining about how, oh, they need to open up things again, or they don't need to open up things again. This will be a problem, or this will be a problem, or this will be a problem, instead of like, it's really great that right now I am in a safe space. It's really great right now that in this process of letting Mother Earth breathe, that there isn't, right here in our country, there is not a physical war going on. Like, just think about that. How much time yesterday, the day before, the week before, did you spend either engaging in your complaining or listening to another person complain? That was what I used to have my research method students do, and it used to blow their minds. And it was data that was so rich that they enjoyed looking at it both from a quantitative perspective and a qualitative perspective. So I was really trying to get creative, y'all, with teaching students to enjoy research methods. And I want you all to be students or to be researchers over this next week. Over this next week, check out your words. Check out what you speak. Check out what you're receiving, right? So for example, there it is, 6 minutes. Let me stop it. For example, are the words that you're speaking, the conversations you're having, are they life-giving or are they full of complaints? Are they full of gratitude or what's a problem? And if the words that you spoke were written on your face, would you still be beautiful? I usually observe when I'm getting into a place of complaining or lack of gratitude, and I usually immediately try to go to this other side of like, name 2 things I'm thankful for. And I do that for pretty much everybody in my life. If I have ever had a conversation with you, and my students, my mentees, all of them know this, my family knows this, one question I say to them, tell me one good thing in your life right now. So I want you all to do that too. So while you're observing and collecting data on your conversations, I also want to invite you, perhaps when you feel that conversation going to just complaints and negativity, send that to somebody. Just send that sentence to someone, that question to someone. Say, tell me one good thing in your life right now. And it just shifts the atmosphere. It tends to shift the atmosphere. It tends to just shift things. I do that to my children all the time. As soon as I hear them like getting into this place of complaining or arguing, I'll be like, hey, Nia, tell me one good thing in your life right now. And of course, they're used to it now. So usually she'll say, you, Mom, just to kind of blow me off or get me out of that. But I want you all to do that. Collect your data. Go ahead and observe who you're talking to and if what you're talking about is life-giving. And I also want you to practice enjoying inviting people to share one good thing, 2 good things in your life right now, right? Is that good, y'all? Because it's good to me. That's good to me. So do your cupcakes. Do those cupcakes. And y'all have a good Tuesday. And this shout out to Bobby Dye for being the birthday boy today. Shout out Bobby Dye. All right, y'all. Robin, you are funny.